alumni lecture and award presentation. I would want us to please rise for the national anthem and the university anthem. With me here is my co-compare, my students, and a while ago, he was actually made a dean for one day. He is a 400 level student of the Department of Geography, University of Ibadan, and he's one of the many bright minds God has blessed us in this department. So please join me in welcoming Would you like to say a few words?
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm very honored to be here, and I'm very honored to be in the presence of a lot of distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our mommies, our daddies, my peers, our fathers, our lecturers, thank you very much for coming here. I'm very, very honored. Truly pleasure to stand in front of all of us today. Thank you very much for gracing this occasion, and I believe we will have a very good show today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kennedy. Kennedy, you will see that there are some faces here you will not recognize at all.
Definitely, sir.
So I will take the lead in the introduction this morning. And I'm about to introduce some legends to you. Some people that you might have heard, their reputation has preceded them, but you will be seeing them in flesh and blood for the very first time. And we are very happy to have the father of the day for this first distinguished alumni lecture series, and that is in person of Professor Olusegun Ariola, retired. And as acknowledging the chairs, I will please ask the people come forward to take a seat on the table. The ushers will please lead in. Professor Ariola is a former head of department from 1987 to 1990. Please give him a round of applause. And I would also like to add that Professor Ariola is retired, but very, very active. You are most welcome, sir. We are also blessed to have another legend with us, and that is in person of Professor Bola Ayeni. I would like to add, many people don't know that Professor Bola Ayeni was the first Vice Chancellor of Covenant University. He used to teach us 481 back in those days, and what's that master's course again? 7 days 1, yes. So let's give him a round of applause. Yes, please.
I can remember many of my classmates here. There was a class where Dr. Akim was taking us, and then Professor Ayeni came in, and then he greeted Doctor, and then Doctor said, that this is my father. And then we all looked at, if this is Doctor's father, then who is it to us is our great grandfather. So thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Please, sir. And that is the chairman, Professor Bola Ayeni is the chairman of today's occasion. We are very blessed to have our chief host here, and that is in person of Professor Ezewo Kucha, the Dean of the Faculty of the Social Sciences. How would you like to welcome?
My fathers are my mentors are, but now that I've also been a big one time, I can welcome you very much, sir. Thank you very much. God bless you, sir.
I also hope you feel the assets and liability for Thank you very much, Prof. That is our chief host. A while ago we had the dean of a very young faculty, that is the Faculty of Economics. When we were students, the Department of Economics was just a department in the Faculty of the Social Sciences, but now it has evolved into a big tree, a giant tree, which is now a Faculty of Economics. That's Professor Lani Olaniyo. I don't know if he's still here. Please let's acknowledge him. I would also want to recognize our hosts, and that is the first woman to ever occupy the office of the head of Department of Geography in the history of the 75-year history of this department, and that is Professor Ibidun Adela. And I would like to also add that this is our second term as head of department. You are such a very powerful woman. You should clap for her and forward. On my alumni chat group, I dropped a picture of her with the group of the football team when they won the faculty. And somebody remarked and said, please, who is that chick? And that happened to be Professor Adele. So you can see that she's still looking very beautiful and radiant. So you're most welcome. Thank you very much. I would like to also recognize our guest speaker. an alumnus of this great department, a worthy ambassador of the University of Ibadan, a great friend and brother, and that is Dr. Debisi Araba. He is the visiting fellow, research fellow, Center for Environmental Policy, Imperial College, London. You know when you call these names, there's a way you have these goosebumps. I don't know where you have those goosebumps when you call these very high sounding school universities. So Dr. Araba, you're most welcome. Thank you. At the appropriate time, you will be properly introduced. I also want to add that Dr. Araba was once the president of NUCSA, the Nigerian University Geography Students Association. So what year was it? 2002. 2001, 2002. Yeah, 2001, 2002 set. And Khaled, he took us, we had an excursion that year. He took us to the Republic of Benin. And I don't think any other president has beaten that record. As a matter of fact, I remember when he was campaigning, he had an opponent who promised that he would take us to South Africa. Unfortunately, that was the only campaign promise he had for us. But unfortunately, he lost. So this, to Dr. Debisi, so you're most welcome. I would like to also introduce Mrs. Bukola Edidi Balogun, another wonderful alumna of this great department. Where are you, ma'am? Accompanied by her mother. Mama, please stand up for recognition. The mother of an alumna is an alumna too. So you are most welcome. Thank you very much for coming. I also recognize our members of staff, starting with Professor, yes, how can I forget? Professor C.O. Iburuko, retired. Thank you very much. If you dare it, come to pros class. Hey, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Prof. It's so good to see you. Thank you very much, Prof. I also cited Professor Albert Aweto. Professor Aweto, are you here? Retired as well. Prof. Prof. Aweto, you're welcome, sir. Nice to have you with us. We're also very happy to have with us another worthy alumnus, that is Dr. Shegun Ojo. Accompanied by Mrs. Ojo and their son. Thank you very much. Dr. Shegun Ojo used to be the former director of the National Emergency Management Agency. You're most welcome. Thank you very much. Now, I want to go back to Dr. Debisi Araba. When he was campaigning, he had a guy. There were actually 4 of them. Yes, I still remember. Don't worry, I won't say too much. But one of them is here. And that guy turned out to be his general secretary during his tenure. And he's here today. We're also blessed to have him in our presence today, all the way from America, Mr. Iwoje Enaho. Please stand up. Thank you very much. What was your campaign slogan? Don't worry, we'll talk later. You're also welcome. We are also very happy to have Mr. Idris Musa. Mr. Idris Musa, are you there? Please acknowledge, let's acknowledge him. Now I will hand over the microphone to my co-compare to introduce academic staff, members of staff.
Thank you very much, everybody. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge my host, my father, my supervisor, and my mentor, Dr. Thibault Osayomi. I also like to acknowledge our father and our grandfather, Professor Ajani. Please acknowledge the presence. Thank you very much, sir. I also like to acknowledge the presence of another very, very able and very distinguished professor.
An ancestor.
An ancestor. Professor Badilese. Welcome, sir. I would like to acknowledge the presence of the faculty's sub-dean, Dr. Olaniyo. Thank you very much, sir. I also like to acknowledge the presence of another very ancestral professor, Dr. Taiwo. We acknowledge the presence, sir. And then I would like to appreciate the presence of one of my favorite lecturers, if you pardon me to say that, Mr. Alumni. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of Dr. and soon to be Professor Fashari. Then I would like to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Eniola. Please let's acknowledge the presence. And last but not the least, our mama. We would like to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Akieli. And our mommy also, Dr. Deborah, please let's welcome her. Thank you very much.
We can't leave out the non-academic staff. I will just quickly run through their names. Elijah, okay, you're welcome. Mrs. Araku, Mrs. Awoye, Mr. BCJ, thank you very much for coming. And we also have, we can't forget our own Dr. Adewale Adeyeba. We are also blessed to have the acting head of the Department, Marketing and Consumer Studies, Faculty of Economics. I was tempted to add Economics, Faculty of Economics, Dr. Oluwatosin Adeyemi. Thank you very much.
And I just spotted one of our fathers in the faculty, our Baba Baba. Former sultan of this faculty, please encourage me and acknowledge the presence of Dr. Rafael. Thank you very much, sir.
I also spotted another alumna. That is a person of the faculty officer of the faculty. She used to be the faculty officer of the Faculty of Arts, Mrs. Tony Kifusa. Thank you very much. Then we would like to also recognize our staff advisor. Maybe you should do that, please.
Our father and one person that has been very much instrumental in this program, yesterday. Please, I want us to give a very sound round of applause to our staff advisor. Thank you very much for all your work.
Thank you very much. Currently, I had a conversation with the mother and the child the other day. And the child told the mother, Mom, I would like to go to McDonald's. And Mom said, no, there's no way you go to McDonald's. I can't take you to McDonald's. I said, Mom, I have to go to McDonald's. She said, there's no way you go to McDonald's. Mom, okay, if you go, you have to spell McDonald's for me. Huh? The child was lost. He peered into the air and said, okay, maybe we should go to KFC. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome our NUPSA president in person of
Taiwo Taofi.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I personally welcome you all here to this program, to 2021-2022 Distinguished Alumni Lecture, the first of its kind. We are having this gathering today due to the pressing issues in this great department of Geography. And one of these pressing issues has to do with the fact that in some of our secondary schools, geography as a subject has been relegated, and there is need to address it on time. Initially, we had it in plan to have the secondary school students in our midst today, but due to the unforeseen circumstances that is beyond our capacity, they are not here. But I believe the subsequent one, we are going to have them here. Because one of the sections of this program is to have a quiz competition. I need the geography day. But due to the unforeseen circumstances, just like I said earlier, they are not here. So another pressing issues that I can say is it seems to be the paramount reason why we're having this program today. It has to do with the fact that some of us, if not all, in this great department, we are still finding it difficult. We are still finding it difficult to model our pathway to a particular branch of geography. But me personally, I can't blame them because seeing is believing sometimes. So that's why we're having this kind of program to invite our distinguished alumni to come and share their experience and how they've been able to establish themselves in a particular sector. We believe that with this, we students will be able to know the prestige and the worth of geography outside this school. And it will also be easier for us to model our pathway to a particular branch of geography. Without wasting much of our time, I would like to wrap everything up. But then I would like to touch one of the objectives of this program that has to do with the development of this great department. The idea behind that is to have is for this program to leave a particular legacy behind in form of a project. And this project could be the establishment of the undergraduate GIS lab to enhance our GIS skills, and it will also be the donation of courses for our field trip. I believe you all agree with me here that field trip is one of the trivial activities that we do in this department. All this is to ensure that is to contribute to the development of this great department. And I believe personally that in short times, I believe personally that this great department will be one of the best places to study geography in the whole Africa. And in the long run, it will be the best department to study geography in the whole world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for my president. Thank you, Mr. President. Please, another round of applause for our president. Thank you very much. I would like to quickly recognize two other members of non-academic staff. Mr. Kwenga Olofinyo, our Chief Lab Technologist. Mr. Akonde, our driver, please wave your hands up. Thank you very much for coming. And thirdly, I need committed a crime of omission. And I used to be a former number one student before, that's as a staff advisor of this great association. So I need to recognize tomorrow's alumni, Nigeria's hope of glory. Greatest geographers, greatest of the greatest geographers, greatest Gogo, Bragba, Gish.
Thank you very much, our students, including myself, for their presence here. To move on to the next order of program, I would like to invite our mommy, our grandmother, our guardian, our custodian, question for our mommy. I'd like to invite our HOD Professor Adele Kwanibidu for the HOD speech.
Good morning, distinguished guests, the father of the Professor Varela, Chairman, his lecturer, Professor Bola Yemi, our distinguished lecturer, Isi Arana, the Dean Faculty of the Social Sciences, Professor Eze Wokuta, all retired professors here present, professors, Professor Kali Pesu, lecturers, all distinguished alumni. We are very grateful and glad that you are here in our midst. Other guests present, ladies and gentlemen, and students. We are especially delighted to be holding this first distinguished alumni lecture. Probably, most likely, is recent history since the inception of the Department of Geography 35 years ago, 1948. We are happy to have this kind of forum today where we really distinguished alumni to come and speak to us. And it is an historically important event in the Department of Geography that we have this kind of lecture. Why are we having a distinguished alumni lecture? This lecture is very important in the context of the various economic and educational situation. Why must we rally our alumni together and bring in an alumni of the department? You know, alumni all over the world are very important to their institutions, because they represent what the institution of the department that changed them represents. And having an alumni association or alumni, you know, gives an opportunity to give back to the institution where they are trained, because it is the representation of their success, the foundation of their success, or an important factor in their success. So the success and future sustainability of our department really hinges on the level of support of our alumni. Because when we have a viable alumni association, they are able to give meaningfully for their contribution as a means of expressing their gratitude to the department and other institutions that provided them with the education that made them who they are today. So we are having this program. One of the reasons why we are having this program is to solicit the strong engagement of our alumni in the department. What is the department asking of our existing alumni? And our students sitting here who will be the future alumni. An important reason, which was also alluded to by the Mr. President, is that of career counseling. Because now, in the context of Nigeria, and as we see in the admission statistics of the Department of Geography, many of our students in secondary schools and other places, A-level students, they see geography as a dead end. But geography is not the dead end. Geography has opportunities, it has prospects, globally. And we have to realize that in our local environments. So, when we bring in our alumni, they can help by career counseling to our students. What are the opportunities? What are the prospects? Because we showcase that geography is not a dead end. We are also asking of our alumni if they can gracefully or graciously create scholarships for geography students. Some students are indigent. They struggle to pay their way through the 4-year program. But with our alumni that have done well, are able to distribute scholarships to help the students. We are also asking them for financial aid and endowment to the department. And we can have an endowment fund for which the department will benefit and also our students can benefit from. They can provide prizes for well-performing students, to encourage them. They can also provide internship opportunities. We have the CWES program that our 300 level students are meant to undertake in 6 months in the industry, private sector, public sector. Many of them go to the ministry. But if our students have the opportunity to go to where the people that have been trained in the department have geography as their first degree, what they are doing, they see the opportunities and the relevance, theory, putting theory and practice together, science and policy together, they can, actually be encouraged to know that they have opportunities when they graduate. So, one thing we are asking about alumni, if you can say, in a year, my company where I work, we can offer 2 internship opportunities, 5 internship opportunities, then it will be good for our students. Then finally, we are asking that our alumni, geography department, wherever they are, can facilitate connections and bring opportunities to the department. The department, for example, is eternally grateful to Dr. Shegun Ojo that is seated here, that brought the disaster risk management program to the department. The disaster risk management program, came to the university through the facilitation of Dr. Shegun Ojo when he was at NEMA. NEMA was going to give, I think, 6 institutions in the political zone this opportunity. And this opportunity that came to the University of Ibadan was highly contested for the University of Lagos. But because our alumni, Dr. Shegun Ojo, wanted that this program come to the department, came to the Department of Geography, later it was transferred to another unit of the university. But then we had that opportunity and we trained many people from NEMA and from other institutions in the country, all over the country, especially in the southwest, to benefit as disaster risk managers. So we want to thank you very much. We also want to thank one of our alumni, that was anonymous. He facilitated, he donated towards the 300 level field work this year. That field, you all know the economic situation of the university. So these are ways in which our past students, the Alumni Association, can bring in opportunities and help the department to carry out our programs. So we believe that this event will be an important milestone in new beginnings in the departments that will extend, to other parts of the country. Thank you very much. And to listen to our best lecturer.
Thank you very much for our meeting. We will also let our chief host, the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences, to just give us a few words of welcome. Please let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much. The HOD Department of Geography, living ancestors here, Professor Ariola, Professor Ayini, Professor Iguru, Professor Aweto, Professor Balageshi, Professor Ajayi, and all other professors here. And colleagues, I can't mention everyone. Thank you for coming. It's a good thing to see you here today. And I also thank Mr. Araba for coming all the way from Kenya to support this program. Thank you so much. This is very wonderful. And we cannot overemphasize the importance of alumni in the growth of departments and universities and even faculties. And I don't think anybody that knows geography, especially geography, will think that is a dead end, as the very program it cannot happen. Because we have had heroes from here. Really. I know that most young people do not even know that the Abuja you see today, FCT, was designed from here, in geography. So it cannot be a dead end. It cannot be a dead end. Professor Abuja was here, and all other distinguished professors. I remember in 2017, we went for a seminar at ISA on a program that Professor Adeleko facilitated. And we had people from different countries come to ISA to spend 1 week. And the request, most of them, including those of them that came from the UK, the request they were making was, please, can we meet Professor Mabu? Can we, please? You know, and all of them were coming for autographs. And that's it about geography, so it cannot be a dead end. So thank you very much. I think, I don't know whether you have a platform for alumni already in geography. If that is not in place right now, I think this could be a veritable platform to begin that conversation, so that we can bring people from all walks of life to begin to really come together as alumni. And then I'm sure that geography will move forward what we are seeing today. Now, talking to people in this hall, or our students, they're already in geography. They know that geography is important. I don't think this is a big problem. They already know. We just want to bolster their confidence. We need more with secondary school students, and I wish they were here today, so that they will see that geography is very viable and very vibrant and very vital in the growth of the nation. So we need to find a way of going back there and then telling them what they do not know in the meantime, so that they will have the confidence to just choose the Bible and geography as first degree, first choice. Professor Mabu chose geography as first choice of course, not that he didn't get law or any other place and then let me manage. No, you can't manage geography because geography is so wide and geography is so important. So we need to go back to secondary schools and emphasize the importance of geography, so that in the end we will be really rejecting some people that apply to geography. We will be oversubscribed. That's what we want to achieve. I know you guys already know that geography is important. We don't need to preach so much. We need to just voice our confidence, but we need to bring people to choose geography, and we are going to do business with that. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you, Ms. Araba. I know you are loaded with so much to give us today. God bless you. Thank you.
Another round of applause for you. You all know that Professor Okucha is a sociologist by training, but you can see that he has suddenly become an evangelist of the gospel of geography. Thank you very much. When he was speaking, he did mention that Professor Mabuje was instrumental to the design and the siting of the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. Now, one of the people that was on his team is Professor Mabuje's team is here today, and he is the father of today's event, and that is Professor Olusegun Areola. And I will hand over the microphone for his own words of welcome to remarks, opening remarks.
Thank you very much. Mr. Dean, guest speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, you are welcome. I'm so happy today because this is one of the things that we've been emphasizing for so long. The need to reach out to our alumni. It should have been done as a project by the department itself. So kudos to NOSA for taking it up. NUMSA alone cannot do it without the department backing them up. In the first place, they need members of the department, those who are graduated from this place, to link them up to the alumni outside. They don't know where they are. They don't know how to get in touch with them without the department backing them up. It's so important. And I like all the things that they totally listed. This is not the first time we list these things. We know that these things are important for promoting the discipline. And I'm grateful to the Dean and the economist for making that categorical statement that geography is not a dead end. In fact, over the years, we've done many things to promote geography in the high school. Even at the level of the Nigerian Geographical Association, is that what it's called now? Association of? Yeah. There is a committee, a unit for high school geography. And every year, when I was still there, we ensure that teachers from colleges of education, from secondary schools, attended, and they were given a whole room to discuss on how to develop geography right from foundation. Over the years, I think somehow some of these things have changed, or we should go back, especially that we're in the digital age. With GIS there, geography will have no problem. The new government says they want to create a million digital-based jobs, and those who are doing GIS should actually brush up their CVs, because we have something to give to this country. Everything that is done, development is a special process. Development is about people, where they are, what they do. And these are the things that anybody who does GIS, who does remote sensing, will be able to adequately fit into different departments of government and show them how to plan spatially. Because GIS is a dynamic technology that allows you to model over time and over space. So as long as you are here, it doesn't matter in which area you want to specialize, you need technology. You see, when you go to offices for jobs, many of them nowadays don't care whether it's geography or history or economics. They are interested in the skills that you have. It is the skills that you get to your job, not your main subject. And we are having a situation now in which people who specialize in physics, in engineering, in geology, they are taking jobs that belong to geographers, because they have mastered this technique of GIS and the remote sensing. They talk about photogeology, and then everything we do, even surveyors, cartographers. So if you don't take that trouble to be well-grounded in all the skills, and many geography people run away from practicals. When you talk about maths, they don't want to do. When you talk about statistics, they say it's geography they came to do. They didn't know they were going to do statistics and all those things. And they run away from your class. No, the world in which we live in now is based on knowledge economy, and there's no knowledge, okay, in greater need than the knowledge based on skills, the skills that we have. And as geographers, we study space, we have the knowledge, we have the skills. Everything that is happening in the world, the space program, and all those things, you should be there. Archaeologists are doing better than we are. Archaeologists are supposed to be studying the past. They are able to find a niche in this economy. And if you go on Google, you'll find there's always something about archaeological discovery. They are promoting themselves. Okay? By now, if people have done their due diligence, we should be ahead of the archaeologists. That was how what is this thing on TV? The National Geographic. Okay? It's just that when you go on television or you go on your iPhone, those things don't interest you. You want to look at people dancing and all those, texting and all those things. Okay? On TV, even your TV alone, National Geographic, there are at least 3 channels. There are Animal Kingdom, all those things, you are not interested. If you are not interested in those things, you are shortchanging yourself, because that is where the knowledge is, that is where the skills are. The people are in need of those things. In industry, you'll be surprised, even in medicine, they were the first to link up with geography to help them map, okay, the spatial pattern of the spread of diseases. Even the human body, because we deal with networks, we show them that the human body is a network that can be analyzed as we analyze river systems. So the onus is on us. You call yourself geography, you are the ones to promote, you are the ones to go out and look for areas where your skills are in need. And there are alumni in different parts of this country that you can link up with, and you will discover that the heaven or the sky is the limit. It's not even the limit. You can reach as far as you want. I wish you all the best.
Those were the remarks from Professor Wilson Marella. Thank you very much, sir. You will all agree with me that Baba, this attests to the fact that Baba is a teacher by excellence. I once felt I was in a lecture room. Thank you very much, sir. And I'm very happy that he has actually shed more light on the public relevance of geography as a discipline. So it goes beyond saying that you geographers, is it going to rain today? No, it's not. It's much more than that. We're also very happy to have. We're also very happy to have with us the chairman of today's event, another protege of the late Professor Mabu Bujet, and also a former member of STAMIT, and that is in person of Professor Bola Ayeni, who would also give his remarks. So,
ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I appreciate our Dean, the Dean of the Faculty of the Social Sciences, for being here and passing the welcomes. I also want to mention the head of the department and the whole protocol is thank you very much, because you've moved us very far. And we should see more of that in this talk I want to give. And I want to appreciate all the professors those on this table, those on that side, and all the lecturers, all the teachers. I also want to appreciate all of you who have come here today to listen to this lecture, the first alumni lecture of 2021, alumni of geography teachers 2021. And I appreciate the lecturer, Dr. DBC Arapa, for coming from far away Kenya to this place to enlighten us and show us some of the things we should know. Now we've listened to some people earlier on, and they talked about how great or what things the alumnus of a university, of an institution, of an organization can do. I join them in all those things. And I want to say, those are good reasons why we've called you here today. But I want to mention the point mentioned earlier by somebody, that this association ought to have sprung up many years ago. And why it didn't spring up, I wouldn't know. But now that it has started, it's because it will become a springing point for the things that we should do. You see, you sing geography, somebody said it's a dead end. To be enlightened, geography is not a dead end. I am a living witness that geography is not a dead end. You are not clapping for me. You see, I'm a living witness that geography is not a dead end. What I knew after the first degree is more than what my teachers taught me. What I knew after I became professor is more than what I know earlier. So, is geography a dead end? No, it isn't. Every day, geography keeps changing your mind, training your mind. And that is the opportunity. I want you to pass. You already practice, you already geographers. Those outside are the people who want to convince to come and do geography. Those of us who are already inside, we want to show the light that geography had thrown to us. So, and we can show this in many ways. I read in our WhatsApp page that there are associations, alumni associations, of different groups of categories of graduating banks. This is very, very good. This opportunity we will use to bring all of us together. And I also want to encourage that those groups that have formed associations before now have done the right thing. I am an alumnus of the University of Ibadan. But I'm a very proud alumnus because I belong to a very, very useful, fruitful branch of the University of Ibadan alumnus. Who can tell us that? Class of 67. The gate, class for us. You see, the gate there was made by the class of 67. And they are doing many other things. And the Vice Chancellor knows us. And I can say to belong to the class of 204, does the head of the department, does the department know you? The answer is probably no. Now let us know you by the great works that you will do. So I want to encourage those some smaller groups, smaller units of the alumni that had existed to continue to exist and do greater works than they have done in the past. Now we need to pull together. You see, my colleagues had mentioned some of our needs. I think we need more than that. Some of my students know I'm an academically very, very ambitious person. Academically very, very ambitious person. I want the best things in academics. And there is no reason why geography cannot take that in this university. Unfortunately, economics is leading us. But we can mix them up and do better than them. What have they done? They have harnessed the alumni of economics. They harnessed the alumni. I did Latin in high school. But it doesn't matter. They had harnessed the alumni of economics. And those people have been very, very useful in helping them. I see some of people here who are in such positions and who can use such positions to help us. You see, Dr. Udo is one of them. I know him more than most people, but when he gave us that program in disaster risk management, we were not the best in the south, in the southwest geopolitical zone to get that thing. But he used his influence and gave it to this university. I look back on him. Now I wish at a meeting like this, I can mention 2, 3, 4 other people like that. And I know I will give you 5 years. That is going to happen. You aren't saying it. Are you unbelievers? If you are not unbelievers, you are dreamers like me. So I want us to dream together. We can have a faculty of geography. Yes! We can have a school of geography. One of my mentors, me and him were from parallel courses. He was professor in Leeds. He became vice chancellor in Leeds. And when he was in Leeds, he established what I would call one of the first schools of geography. And in that school, there was nothing he didn't do. You see, geography is more versatile than you think. And there are so many tools you can apply. In the last 4-5 years of my consulting to people in government, they've always told me, come and do this survey for us because we want to use it for A, for B, for C. Even for the census, there was a contract that we should take satellite imagery, we should do a micro census of some place and make derivations of life tables. This can only, I wrote today, I said this can only be done by somebody who did geography, who did GIS, who did spatial statistics, who did spatial analysis. How many of those things do you know? What is it? So there is a wide area for geography to find. And these areas are areas we can explore to develop our soul of geography. So, alumni, growth of alumni. I want you to keep this in mind. Let's to based on the reasons they brought you here today. We will listen to his lectures and to enlighten us all. But I assure you, this is all the reasons that brought here today, and it shall be well with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this speech. I'm sure we're already getting inspired even before the guest speaker speech itself. A lot of us here, I'm sure our minds are already open, especially students, understanding what you can do and where you can find yourself with geography. On that note, I feel like my future in geography is definitely going to be very bright. I feel like money is, so I want to use more for our students. Please appreciate me now. So just to take a little break, we just have a session where few questions will be asked, and then any student that gets the answer gets a token and a copy. Are we ready? Greater 400 level students. Greater 300 level students. Greater 200 level students. Greater freshers. Of the greater looks like. God bless you. Thank you very much. So, very quickly, I will be asking 2 questions, and any student that gets it, I will tell you what the package is. It could be scholarship to follow our guest speakers. I will tell you what it is. Now the first question, please listen very much attentively. The first question is, when was our guest speaker, what session was our guest speaker the president of NUCSA? I'll randomly be closing my eyes, pointing at somewhere wherever my hand falls on. Yes. Sir? 2001, 2002 session, correct? So see our answer after the program. Get your, don't worry, it's going to play, you don't know. And then for the second question, very quickly, what year was the Department of Geography established? This time we'll pick a woman for the lady in white. 1948. That's all for now. Whatever other packages or aeroplane or something. You saw the one flying yesterday. You don't know whether it's so whatever thing you have for also thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm tempted to give my own giveaway. I know you people run away. Mr. D, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to, we are about to reach the climax of today's event, and but just before we hear the alumni lecture, I would like to call upon a young lady who is actually a promising young lady, a 300 level student of this great department, who apparently or incidentally is a descendant of Dr. D.B.C. Araba. Dr. D.B.C. Araba whispered to my head that he was also the editor-in-chief of the Voice of Geographers, that's the Student Press Association of this department. And the person who is going to read the citation too is also the editor-in-chief of the Voice of Geographers, Miss Miracle George. Please, a warm welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, our distinguished alumni. Good morning, sir. Good morning, HOD, the Dean of the Faculty, lecturers here, and my fellow geographers. I'm reading out the citation of Dr. D.B.C. Araba, and I must tell you, it's really a great honor to be standing here to do that. Dr. D.B.C. Araba is a public policy, innovation and strategy specialist. He was admitted to the Department of Geography, University of Ibadan in 1998, and graduated from the Faculty of Science in 2003 academic session. During his undergraduate class, he was the editor-in-chief, Voice of Geographers 1991-2001, and President, Nigerian University's Geography Student Association, NUCSA 2001-2002. He is a visiting research fellow at the Center for Environmental Policy, Imperial College, London. He also serves on the Montpellier Malabo panel of experts, an eminent group of global experts, working together to enhance African and European government support of national and regional agricultural development and food security priorities in Africa. Most recently, he was the managing director of the African Green Revolution Forum, where he led global strategy, partnerships and programs for Africa's premier platform for agriculture and food system transformation to achieve the vision and goals laid out in the AU Malabo Declaration, the SDGs and Africa's Agenda 2063. Previously, he was the Africa Region Director at the International Center for Tropical Agriculture, a member of the CGIAR, the Consortium on International Agricultural Research. At CIAT, he led the mission to increase prosperity and improve human nutrition in Africa through leveraging markets for improved productivity, competitiveness, human nutrition and health, transforming farms and landscapes for sustainability, and deploying insights to de-risk agriculture for improved investment planning, resilience and access to private capital. He has also served as the Senior Technical Advisor on Environmental Policy to the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development in Nigeria, where he co-authored Nigeria's National Agricultural Resilience Framework, co-created the Global Alliance for Climate Smart Agriculture, and led global and national partnerships in the development of finance, insurance, climate smart products, services and strategies for the agricultural sector. DVC has a doctorate degree from the Center of Environmental Policy, Imperial College London, a Master's in Public Administration from the Harvard University Kennedy School of Government, a Master's in Clean Technology from the University of Newcastle upon time, and a Bachelor's degree in Physical Geography from the University of Ibadan. Please, can we give a standing ovation to our guest speaker today, Dr. DVC.
Thank you very much. I don't think you can hear the story of me graduating from the University of Ibadan. I don't choke up a little. I was going to stand on the existing protocols this morning, but I have to give honor to whom honor is due. I would like to acknowledge our father of the day, our chairman of the day, Honorable Dean of the Faculty of the Social Sciences, and my head of department, Professor Adineko. I would also like to thank you all for being here. I'd like to thank Dr. Olaniro and Mr. Taiwo Olariwaju and all the members of the Executive Committee of the Nigerian Universities Geography Students Association, NUCSA, for the kind of invitation and for making this happen. I thank the members of the Department of Geography, some of my classmates that I see here, and the Alumni Association for this kind invitation. Standing here in this lecture hall, being on this campus, and being given the rare privilege to speak with you today is an honor. Thank you very much to everyone who has made it here. Thank you to everyone who is watching online. I would like to take you on a brief journey with me today, beginning with the decisions influencing my education, moving on to how geography has aided my understanding of the world, and linking that to the necessary task of evolving or the evolution of our discipline. And finally, my charge to faculty and students alike. When I was listening to all the statements made earlier, initially I thought someone had leaked expo of my speech, because it is clear that we are all of one spirit and of one mind. And you will see why as I read through my speech. I give glory to God for every phase that I have come through over the past 4 decades. While it is just me standing here, I am not alone. And I have not come this far on my own. I am here because I believe. I am here because of the unconditional love of my parents, Adebayo and Adebola Leara, who have walked with me through this adventure of a life and cheered me up. I'm here because of the unimpeachable support of my wife, Omolade Araba, and my sister, Jilola Akinola. I am here because of the comfort and care shown to me while I was studying here by my aunt and late uncle, Mrs. Adere and the late Mr. Adedoyin Lafimo. I am here because of the camaraderie and companionship of my friends that I see some of you in this room. I am here because all these people ensured that I did not quit, despite the numerous times I stumbled. To all these lovely people, wherever you may be, I say thank you. And I remember sharing with Professor Adineko yesterday that I did not choose geography, but geography chose me. My mother was born and grew up in Ibadan. While she went on to study for both her undergraduate and master's degrees at the Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria, where I was born, it is very likely that she always wished that her 2 children, my sister and me, study at the great UI. And so we did, of course, you obey your mother. I was not sure what I wanted to study in university, to be fair, but the combination of my mother's wish for it to be at UI and my narrow options from my JAM results and O-level results meant that geography was the science course for me. So unlike Professor Mamubuje, I didn't choose geography. Geography sought me out. I am one of the few special students to hold 2 matriculation numbers in UI. I don't know if any of you have 2, or you know anybody else who's had 2 matriculation numbers. 93786 and 93755. You don't forget your matric number. Now, towards the end of my first year, I was summoned to the admissions office and was informed that my admission would be terminated because of inconsistencies in my O-level records. I remember mentioning to Professor Adenekon that I've entered the HOD's office 3 times. The first time was Professor Ayen, who invited me in. And so he was seated at the long table, and he said, you know, he had this ashen look on his face, and he said, "You don't look like one of them. So what is the problem, young man?" And so I sat down, and I tried to explain to him that my results are fine, but UI recorded the wrong results, and so when they did the reconciliation, the West African Economic Education Examinations Council sent a report saying what UI had sent to them was not valid because someone had made a mistake in data entry. And this led to a 3-year journey, shuttling between the department, the faculty, and students' registry. This was no fault of mine. My results were genuine. But I remain eternally grateful for the emotional stability. You probably don't remember this problem. The emotional stability you provided to me. Just by telling me that you were not convinced that my results were not genuine. That gave me the energy to seek out a solution. Thank you very much. This led me to Dr. Mrs. Olarinwe, who was then a senior officer in the student registry department. Over the course of these 3 years, we had a change in head of departments. Professor Okafor took over from Professor Ayeni. And then he again held my hand. And we would go into Mrs. Lafimo's Beetle, and we would drive from office to office. I probably visited all the offices in Trenchard Hall more than I cared to over the first 2 years of my stay in UI because of this. Dr. Mrs. Olarinwe is one of the reasons why I am here. And if not for her, I would not be standing here today. If not for Professor Ayen, I would not be standing here today, at least not in this capacity. So again, thank you very much. As a student, I joined the Voice of Geographers, the department press, in my 2nd year. I was appointed editor-in-chief shortly after that, as the VOG had been idle, and then the NUCSA Exco reconstituted it for us to run with it. I worked with the appointed team, the editorial team, to draft a new constitution. We established clear roles for each editorial position, and then I voluntarily resigned and campaigned to be elected as editor-in-chief. Fortunately, I was successful, and this marked my first real foray into campus politics. While it was a privilege to have been appointed as the editor-in-chief, my voluntary resignation and campaign to be elected under the democratic constitution sent a signal about how I viewed service and the source of legitimacy of our operations. Towards the end of my 3rd year, I convened a meeting of the editorial team to review the candidates for NUCSA Exco positions. I was telling, I mentioned Dr. Osaremi, I'm shocked about the power of your recollections of what happened over the course of the elections. And during that meeting, we were going through the candidates to write an editorial position. One of the editors piped up and said, "Why was I not considering a run to be president?" Right up until that point, I had not given it much thought. But when I did, I came around to a place of deep conviction that I had something different to offer, outside of the manifestos of those who were running. I have a confession here. Nothing teaches you the nuances of the art of listening, negotiation, and persuasion like the experience of running for office. On quite a few occasions, I stood in this very hall, close to this very spot, to share my manifesto with fellow students. And I remember one of the last times I did that was a class being taught at the time by Dr. Ajayi. And so I walked up to him, or then Dr. Ajayi, I walked up to him and I begged him, I said, 30 seconds, that's all I need. He said, okay, in the time it will take me to arrange my notes, you give your pitch. And so I did. It started with, greatest look size. Greatest look size. Articulate of the articulate look size. I didn't address 400 to 100 level at the time. I didn't know that was a thing that we would do, you know. And as we would say, I had my Edo moment. Right? I was in the zone. It was a landslide victory for me. It wasn't close by any countryman. Now, over the course of my undergraduate studies, my curiosity for environmental related issues grew. This coalesced into a keen sense of what I wanted to do post-graduation, but also a keen interest in sustainable development. So this was happening in the lead up to and the immediate aftermath of the declaration of the Millennium Development Goals established in 2000 at the Millennium Summit of the United Nations. I was still not sure what kind of career, but I knew the kind of challenges that called to me. So much happened during our time as students. A major highlight was when my friends and I met the famous, legendary Professor Akimabukuje. He came on campus for a conference and we all just dashed to the UI Conference Center. Under the guise of interviewing him as editors of the Voice of Geographers, we started asking different questions about his career journey, his interests, contemporary issues, and of course, this epic photograph that is one of my most cherished possessions. My first encounter with the name Akimabukuje was on the door along the corridor in the faculty, even before we met the man. Then came the numerous books that he had authored, especially his magnum opus, The State of the Earth. Professor Mabukuje was the first African president of the International Geographical Union and the first African to be elected as a foreign associate of the United States National Academy of Sciences. A rock star in our eyes. He commanded the respect of the world and quietly exuded excellence. Professor Mabukuje and I would meet a second time when I sought his counsel before embarking on my doctoral program. So as I mentioned before, geography chose me at the beginning. And I have held on to geography since because it has helped me to understand the world. My undergraduate thesis introduced me to climate change and the modeling of climate data. I chose to write about droughts in northern Nigeria. I had wished to write about the whole country, but I could only afford to purchase the weather data for about 24 weather stations in northern Nigeria. Now this was from the meteorological services of what was then known as the meteorological services of the Ministry of Aviation. Incidentally, a year before I had undergone my industrial work experience, we were the first set of geographers from the University of Ibadan to participate in the Students' Industrial Work Experience Scheme, SIWES. A great deal of my time was spent helping the service agency sort and digitize the same weather information that I was now being forced to pay for, less than a year later. I felt it was rather punitive for a student to purchase primary data, from a public institution for that matter, for academic purposes. I think if you do so, you stifle the lifeblood of research and creativity. After graduation, I wrote to a few universities inquiring about the programs they had that aligned with sustainable development. I was partial to Newcastle University because that was where my sister was doing her master's program. When I wrote to Newcastle, they wrote back offering me 2 courses. I chose clean technology because it framed learning in the context of business and sustainable engineering. I particularly enjoyed the modules on waste management because of the practical aspects. And I took the final project working with the City Council of Newcastle to review their recycling strategy and how they complied with the landfill allowance trading scheme of the United Kingdom. After graduating from my master's, I kept on working as a consultant with the City Council in Newcastle, but I decided to extend my learnings and added curiosity to consider waste management in Nigeria and why environmental policies appeared not to succeed in their implementation. This was when I sought out Professor Akin Mabuje for the second time. The 3-hour conversation we had left me fired up for the journey ahead. Buoyed by this meeting, I again wrote to a few universities, narrowing my interests to focus on Lagos State. I'm seeking a supervisor who could guide me towards this investigation. Professors Nigel Bell and David Wilson from Imperial College, these 2 fine gentlemen here, wrote back to me personally. This was the only university from which I received direct correspondence from academic faculty. I was invited down to London for a chat about my ideas, and shortly after I began my PhD program. Due to the unconventional nature of my research, with aspects touching on behavioral economics, history, and engineering, I had the privilege of being supervised by professors across 2 faculties at Imperial College, faculties of engineering and the faculty of natural sciences. A very rare feat for anyone at Imperial. My work explored the historical evolution of environmental policies in Nigeria from pre-colonial period until the early 21st century. I also explored the various technologies adopted for waste management in Lagos, as well as the barriers and incentives for pro-environmental behavior. After my PhD in mid-2011, a mentor and senior colleague at Imperial College, Professor Sir Gordon Conway, Professor Emeritus at Imperial College, introduced me to the then newly appointed Minister of Agriculture in Nigeria. After a lengthy discussion with him about his vision of success, he invited me to join his team as an advisor on environmental policy. Now, environmental policy I was very comfortable with. Agriculture, on the other hand, not so much. But in hindsight, I need not have worried. For a Dr. Akinwumi additional, I had at my disposal one of the world's finest minds on agriculture. My eagerness to learn, combined with my deep curiosity, matched his patience, his kindness, and his thoughtfulness. I soaked up all the knowledge and insight he had to offer, while he provided me the platform to stretch and prove myself in public service. I leaned on my foundation in geography, my expertise in environmental policy frameworks, to draw in parallels for the agriculture sector through the analysis of the variation of phenomena. A highlight of my service was the convening of the Ministerial Advisory Committee on Agriculture Resilience in Nigeria, and also being co-author of the National Agriculture Resilience Framework, the first of its kind in the world. This focused specifically on how Nigeria could build an agri-food sector resilient to the shocks and stresses of climate change. By May 2015, at the end of the administration, I had visited all states in Nigeria, including some of the most remote areas you have probably never heard of. I witnessed firsthand the green shoots of economic prosperity that was possible through rural transformation, facilitated by a productive and competitive agrarian base. It is my wish that our country becomes safer soon.
so that you can all travel and see the beauty, the vastness, the contrasts, the potential, and the challenges our dear country faces. Our challenges are not insurmountable. Between 2011 and 2015, under focused leadership and a clear strategy, Nigeria increased food production by 21 million metric tons. We attracted over 8 billion of public, private, and philanthropic investment interest to develop the world's largest digitally enabled agriculture productivity program, creating 3.5 million jobs and reducing the food import bill by over $6 billion. Dear friends, the transformation for shared prosperity for all is possible in our lifetime. I've experienced the potential of our collective capabilities, and I have unshakable faith that if we persist and persevere in acquiring know-how, we can compete with the very best in the world and establish a Nigeria all will be proud to call home. Since the end of my time in public service, I've gone on to lead other international organizations working at the nexus of food, agriculture, and environmental sustainability. Through my journey so far, I've observed the interconnectedness of systems, physical and human, spatial patterns, spatial processes, and how the themes of agriculture, food, and environment continue to recur and show up in my career. These themes, along with my lifelong commitment to learning, have guided me in how I think about questions to ask and in deciding the challenges worth taking on. And this leads me to my thoughts on the practice of geography and our need to evolve. The earth is not flat. Hoping that's not heresy in this room. Thanks to Pythagoras' work in the 6th century BC, the previously held idea of a flat earth was dispelled. And with it, a shift in thinking about the earth, and along with that, a shift in paradigm about our understanding. When I was an undergraduate, we were taught that the solar system had 9 planets. And that was the only correct answer. Anything outside of that was a fail. However, just under 17 years ago, on the 24th of August 2006, at the convening of the International Astronomy Union General Assembly, the 9th planet, Pluto, was scrubbed 76 years after its discovery. With that, what was incontrovertible changed. Colleagues and friends, science evolves when evidence compels us to review previously held beliefs. Science is not, or is, an aspect of our culture. And our culture is eclectic. Culture is not fixed permanently. It evolves over time. It picks up aspects from elsewhere where useful, discarding others no longer necessary for progress. Aspects or practices of our culture abide because people continue to practice them. For example, a language dies when people stop speaking it or learning it. The perpetuation of these cultural practices is done in honor of ancestors. It's interesting that previous speakers had mentioned ancestors earlier. This is why I said we're in the same spirit. And these ancestors are those who initiated these practices, or for those in whose memory we practice them. We see this in various aspects of our culture, in religion, in music, in sports, the corporate world, and also in academia. It is no coincidence that Ralph Waldo Emerson was famously quoted as saying, "An institution is the lengthened shadow of one man." All aspects of what we know as our culture today, regardless of the context, can therefore be understood historically as the lengthened shadows of individual ancestors, our forebears. Someone or some people sat down and drafted the curriculum we know today as the geography course. for undergraduates, postgraduates alike. We honor these ancestors through preserving their legacies by keeping the letter of their work. My question to you today is this the only way we can honor them? Must the labor of their work be permanently preserved in time? Does this meet the needs of a modern world? And is this world the same as the world they met it, or is it vastly different? We pick up new useful aspects from others, and we lay to rest parts which are no longer useful. Because our culture honors our ancestors, it is sometimes difficult to let go of parts no longer suited for modern society. Also, we're sometimes hesitant to change because we fear losses, but let go we must. If aspects of our culture hold us back from shared prosperity, then we must be deliberate about scrutinizing our binding constraints and lay them to rest. In choosing to secure our future, we are honoring our ancestors. One way to achieve this is to seek out tools from other cultures where the practice of renewal happens and happens often. One example I like to draw from is an Igbo proverb that says, when an idol becomes too powerful and arrogant, you tell him the wood it was carved from. These are powerful words. If a society or community can accept this, it empowers them to scrutinize and limit any aspect of their culture that holds them back. This requires an elevated level of introspection and awareness. Just like the Navajo proverb that states, you cannot wake up a person who is pretending to be asleep. Furthermore, not all aspects of culture are positive. A commitment to excellence could be a cultural trait. If we accept this, and in the same vein, mediocrity, in all its manifestations, could also be a cultural trait, if we permit it. As a people, as a community, the practices we nurture, the practices we condone, the practices we champion, or the practices we tolerate abide with us and become intricately woven into expectations about who we are and what we do. They become aspects of our culture. So, what new innovations, practices, approaches, or pedagogy are we developing as we advance this all-encompassing discipline of geography? Are we conscious of our limitations? What is holding us back from adopting changes? Which of our ancestors would we disappoint? Or what losses do we perceive if we were to make those changes? What hopes or aspirations would our ancestors wish for us as we confront new challenges in an ever-evolving world? I believe that we would be honoring the labors of our heroes past if we chose to evolve and make changes to ensure that the Department of Geography remains globally at the vanguard of thought and practice. In his book published in 2020, Roman Krznaric describes what it means to be a good ancestor. And he charges us to be circumspect, to consider our ways, and to live our lives in the image of the ancestor we wish to be remembered for. So today I'm charging you and inviting you to consider yourselves as an ancestor. Imagine yourself decades or centuries from today. What norms, what practices, what institutions would you wish to be remembered and honored for? What did you initiate? What did you perpetrate? What did you change? And why? The degrees we are awarded, some of you will be awarded, are not just a record of academic achievement. They are a prayer and a charge for us to maintain a culture of learning beyond the walls of campus and to extend our knowledge to the rest of the world, to bring light into dark places, yearning for change and transformation. We're called to meet the challenges of an imperfect world. A world with increasing geopolitical tensions. A world where hunger and malnutrition continue to rise and compromise the cognitive abilities of future generations to thrive. A world experiencing inequality of opportunities and prosperity outcomes. A world where our carbon-fueled industrialization accelerates climate change and threatens our very existence. There is much work to be done, and every one of you is required on the front lines of this battle. Now, I know I've said a lot, but before I leave, I would like to crave your indulgence and share with you a few cultural practices that have helped me, continue to help me on my journey. I'd like to invite you to stay curious, bet on yourself, and commit to excellence. For most of you who are in this room as students, 3 things are required of you. 1, that you show up and pay attention during lectures. 2, that you do your best and that you reflect on any gaps in your understanding. I hope that your interaction with course content does not end immediately after results are pasted on those boards. I'm informed that you have exams starting next week. I think beyond the exams, it's always good to do a post-mortem of your course. It's not enough to say you've got 6 points, 7 points, 5 points, whatever it is. Seek your lecturer out and work through those questions and try to understand what their expectations were of you. We didn't do that in our time. I don't know if it's practiced now. Second thing I charge you to do is do the hard things. Don't shy away from it. Do not avoid attempting challenges just because they appear difficult. It is in the process of attempting difficult tasks, courses, or projects that we stretch our capabilities and we learn valuable lessons that serve us in our personal and professional lives. If the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? The integrity of the foundation of your knowledge determines the house you can build on it. It is important that we build our course curriculum and pedagogy to produce students of strong foundational knowledge from which they can build out their own journeys. Weak foundations lead to indecisive, weary, and unsure travelers. Find yourself a mentor who shows you how and enables you to solve problems. It is important for your confidence and professional growth that you know how to understand the world around you and how to solve problems. As you continue on this journey, may you experience the joys of working with kind and inspiring people. Everyone I have mentioned today by name deserves my eternal gratitude and prayers. Keep your friends close. Now on this journey, I hope you make lifelong friends. We all get on this great big bus of life at some point, and we each alight when our journey ends. I have had the unique privilege to enjoy this journey with some of the finest people I met while in UI. Sadly, some of them have already stepped off the bus, but they have blessed me with moments and memories to last my lifetime. Guard your heart and guard your mind, so that you do not internalize the dysfunction you encounter on your journey. Do not be compromised to staying silent in the face of tyranny. As a good ancestor, it is your duty to maintain a sacred heart. The sanctity of your heart is the bulwark, the very last barrier to resist the tide of dysfunction that threatens to derail us on this journey towards a just, equitable, sustainable, and prosperous society. Never lack in gratitude and always seek to pay it forward. My mother's father, my maternal grandfather, had the most beautiful cursive handwriting. After he passed away, my mother found a note he had written. It included a quote from the famous Quaker missionary, Etienne de Grelais. It goes, "I shall pass this way but once. Any good that I can do, or any kindness I can show to any human being, let me do it now. Let me not defer, nor neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again. Now this quote bears a major influence on how I consider my role as a professional and as a person. I've experienced the grace and benefits of having kind and generous mentors and sponsors, people who champion my cause in my absence and guide me towards paths and doors I didn't even know existed. In their honor, I continue to do the same, and I have not had cause to regret it. As I'm bringing this to a close, here's my plea to you students. Please be kind and gracious towards your lecturers. In Yoruba culture, we have a proverb that says, a child may have as many new clothes as an elder, but can never have more rags than an elder. Respect the knowledge that they wish to share with you. And to the lecturers, my prayer to you, please be kind and gracious towards the students. They're here to drink from your fountain of knowledge. Put yourselves in their shoes and approach your teaching as if you were teaching yourself the knowledge you possess today. Again, we Yoruba say, it is through the wisdom of the youth and the elders that we establish the Ife, the ancestral and spiritual home of the Yoruba people. We need each other for, you people have filled my hands, for maximum, thank you, we need each other for maximum spatial interaction. Enjoy the journey. If you embrace its totality, I can assure you, geography as a discipline can take you wherever you wish to go, and to places you never thought you would appreciate. Being grounded in a discipline that encompasses plurality of paradigms affords a geographer the tools to think, not only in linear, absolute terms. It also allows us the capacity to be more abstract and to deploy curiosity and creativity fit for the challenges of modern society. Travel if you can, but ensure that you read about and strive to understand the wider world. In closing and in encouragement, whenever you consider yourself lost or unclear about your mission, please find your way back to geography. Observe the world around you. Ask why, and take things from there. Be prepared for lifelong learning, tackling and solving hard problems. When the evidence compels a revision of your norms and culture, dig deep into your toolkit to adopt new norms and practices, while also finding the humility and grace to lay the past to rest. Most importantly, be a good ancestor. So go forth into the world, proud of your heritage. We should all be geographers. Thank you all very much. Again, thank you for the privilege to share with us. God bless you. That's a music tribute to our guest speaker. Thank you very much, Dr. James Saraba. Another round of applause. I'm going to get a lot, so you have no fears for the future. Abi? All right. Would you like to say something?
Thank you very much, sir. It was a very, very beautiful and a very detailed speech. It's one thing to come into the classroom, being admitted as a student here, and then going through 4 years, every day of their life, coming to classes, writing tests and exams. It's another thing to come here, see someone who has been a product of all that journey, gone through life a lot more years than I've been born. I think many of our students know this joke of how many years have I been born, and then how many years have they gone through all this journey and then done all of these things, and then we can see them visibly and clearly in our presence. Get them speak to us and get them help us see how far life can also take us, and then where we can go from what we're showing. Please let's give him another round of applause. Thank you.
While he was giving his lecture, I spotted some of his classmates here, and I would ask them to please rise for recognition. First of all, I will start with Dr. Femi Olaniyan, the subject. Very humble man, and as a matter of fact, he was the best graduating student for his class. Dr. Alex Shewo. Thank you very much for coming, sir. Nice to see you. And once again, the Honorable Aiko now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But at this time, we'll have another musical interlude, which will be coordinated by my able compare Kayode Jimakiro. So what are you giving away now? I hope it's a car.
Thank you very much, sir. Don't worry, you find out outside the lecture. There are many things outside parked left and right. Go to the car park. Don't try to take my supervisor's car, but just, I feel very quickly we'll just have a break where we also just entertain ourselves and have one or two of us read something from today's event. Very quickly, I'll just ask us to state one or two things we learned from the lecture, particularly about the slides. One student, we had a lot of slides displayed that said the purpose date. Let me give us expo. One said do the hard things. There are other slides that said something. So one student should just raise their hand and say 3 things that you saw from the slides. One. Okay. Pay forward one. Kind and generous. Stay career. Thank you very much. Can you do better on that? And then the final question I'll be asking for this Q&A section. What year did the Department of Geography start its own serious program? It was actually mentioned during the lecture, so if you have very clear, what is so please, any students answer the question. 2001, 2002 session. This correct students around the world. How to get better education, our next examination that he was the assessed that working in the first year program, and then that's 2001, 2002 session. Please start. So after the lecture, please see our usher for your brand new cars and airplanes.
Thank you very much, Kayode. I would like to quickly do some recognitions, and I will do it by year of graduation. So you will see the jobs among us now. So I'm going to start with those who graduated in the 2020s. Please stand up for recognition. 2020s, please stand up and clap for them. Okay. They're not here, or maybe on their way. And let me also inform you that we also have an online presence here, so let's please give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. Nice to see you all. 2010s, those who graduated in the 2010s. Yes, this is wonderful. Now, say something about Mrs. Badogo. Now, Mrs. Badogo was one of the first, well, as far as history goes, she was the first female student to vie for the position of president of NUSA. Since that time, another lady has come up this year. So that's really the last thing. Now, year 2000, alumni year 2000, I belong to that category. Thank you. The 1990s. We are moving to the ancestors now. So be careful what we say. 1980s. How are you doing there? She's representing all the 1980s. Thank you very much. 1970. Emeritus Professor R.K. Udo. Unfortunately, it's not able to get on. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you very much. At this point, I would like to invite the number 1 students in the Department of Geography to come and handle item 10, and that is in person of Dr. H.G. Olanio, the staff advisor of NUSA. A round of applause.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shayami, for a job well done, and thank you, Mr. Kaldi, the co-anchor. Thank you very much. We are on the item 10 of our program, which is the NUSA Distinguished Alumni Award presentation. Now, I want to speak briefly on the Alumni Award initiated by the current NUSA Executive Council. So I will do that with another co-anchor, Miss Miracle George. Give her a round of applause. This year, we initiated what we call NUCSA Award of Excellence. And the philosophy behind this is to appreciate all geographers who are doing wonderfully well in various fields of endeavor outside there, in order to show the world what geography and geographers can do and what they are doing. And we are happy this morning that we have some recipients of this NUCSA Award of Excellence here this morning with us. We have various categories of this award. We have about 8 categories of this award, but only 5 are open this year. The first is NUCSA Award of Excellence in Public Administration and Management. That award is for any distinguished geographer from this department who has excelled in public administration and management and has represented the Department of Geography, University of Ibadan, and the discipline of geography well in public sector administration and management. The second is NUCSA Award of Excellence in Campus Sports Development. The NUCSA Award of Excellence in Campus Sport Development, is for any distinguished alumnus or alumni who is adjudged to have excelled in his or her chosen profession and has encouraged and supported the development of sports in the department and University of Ibadan in general. The third category of our award is NUCSA Award of Excellence for Women in Geography. The NUCSA Award of Excellence for Women in Geography is to honor those women creating change, inspiring others, and blessing the trade in the field of geography. That one is not open this year. We hope that next year we are going to give that award to one of our fantastic women geographers. In category 4 is NUCSA Award of Excellence in Public Policy. The NUCSA Award of Excellence in Public Policy honors any distinguished alumnus of the department in the private or public sector who demonstrates a strong commitment to public policy in the nation's best long-term interest. The award recognizes geographers who have demonstrated their expertise and professionalism, showing how geographers are crucial to policy decisions and local delivery. The category 5 is NUCSA Award of Excellence in Business and Entrepreneurship. NUCSA Award of Excellence in Business and Entrepreneurship recognizes and celebrates geographers in business and entrepreneurship whose innovative approach and clutter-breaking ideas have created positive changes in the business and social ecosystem nationally and internationally. The award aims to encourage geographers to take the lead in business and entrepreneurship using geographical knowledge and skills. It also seeks to motivate geographers to encourage and open new opportunities for enterprising young geographers. That one is not open this year. The category 6 is NUCSA Merit Award in Geographical Research. The NUCSA Merit Award in Geographical Research is for any alumnus who is adjudged to have made significant contribution of an original nature to the field of geography and to the development of the discipline of geography in general. Category 7 is NUCSA Geographer in Government Award. The NUCSA Geographer in Government Award aims to celebrate geographers who have demonstrated outstanding performance and excellence in politics and governance. And the last one, NUCSA Award of Excellence in Human Relations. The NUCSA Award of Excellence in Human Relations recognizes the outstanding accomplishments of geographers in human relations. Candidates for this award must have contributed to the understanding of human issues in society and must have applied effectively human relation principles to the solution of leadership problems in a particular organization or situation of major importance, resulting in better human relations within the various institutions of the society. So for this year, we have NUCSA Award of Excellence in Public Administration and Management. We have NUCSA Award of Excellence in Campus Sport Development. We have NUCSA Award of Excellence in Public Policy. We have NUCSA Geographer in Government Award. And then we have NUCSA Award of Excellence in Human Relations. So I will call each recipient of these 5 awards, and they will come out, their citation will be taken, and then the award will be presented to them. For the first award, our dear professor and father and teacher, Professor Chris Ikoroko, will present the NUCSA Award of Excellence in Public Administration and Management. For NUCSA Award of Excellence in Campus Sport Development, our head of department, Professor Ibidu Adelekon, will present that award. For NUCSA Award of Excellence in Public Policy, to be presented by Professor Abola Ayeni, our chairman for today's occasion. And for NUCSA Geographer in Government Award, that award will be presented by our Baba, the living ancestor. Baba, Professor Olusegun Areola. And the last one, NUCSA Award of Excellence in Human Relations, will be presented by Baba Awoma Kekeke, Professor Adeniyi Badigeshi. Thank you. So I call on the first awardee. The first awardee is Mr. Idris O. Musa. Mr. Idris O. Musa is not physically present here, but will be represented by Professor Adeniyi Badigeshi to take his award on his behalf.
Thank you. I'm reading the citation of Mr. Idris Olubola Musa, who was born on September 17, 1957 in Yaba East Local Government Area.
Prof, you can move here, sir.
He graduated in 1979. That's why I'm representing him.
He holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Geography from the prestigious University of Ibadan. He holds 2 master's degrees, MSc Urban and Regional Planning from the University of Ibadan and Master of Business Administration from the University of Ilorin. He also holds several professional certifications and memberships locally and internationally. Mr. Idris Olubola has about 40 years of experience in different capacities in both the private and public sectors. He started his career in 1980 as Executive Director in Oluyori Bottling Industry Nigeria Limited, where he later moved to Virgin Nigeria Limited Ilorin as Executive Director, Management Consultants in 1989. In 1996, he joined the public service as environmental scientist in the defunct Federal Environmental Protection Agency and later to Federal Ministry of Environment, where he was deployed in 2004 as one of the pioneer staff to head the Oil Spill Detection and Response Department of the then newly established National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency. He was promoted to the level of Director in 2008 and Director Oil Field Assessment in 2011, following department restructuring in NOSDRA. Mr. Musa retired in his position in September 2017. Being a vibrant and energetic personality, he was appointed as head of operations of the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, Port Harcourt, in the same year. He was appointed Director General, Chief Executive of the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency in March 2019 by the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari. Mr. Idris Musa has an uncommon wealth of experience in oil spill management. He also served in several committees, among which is the committee that worked on the preparation of projects leading to the establishment of NOSDRA. He also worked on several projects and researches leading to several developmental achievements in Nigeria, which are quite numerous to mention here. He has also attended several international trainings, seminars, and workshops. He represents Nigeria on the 10-man board of Pollution Crime Working Group of the International Police. Mr. Idris Olubola Musa is happily married with children.
On behalf of the great students of Geography on the University of Ibadan, and my extension, Department of Geography, University of Ibadan, we present this to you for your distinguished service and for making this great department proud, and indeed for making Geography proud. We expect that through this award, we continue to work hard to ensure that you promote not only this department, but also geography, the common nations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, this second award to be given today is NUCSA Award of Excellence in Campus Sports Development. And that goes to Mr. Musa Omokabi. Mr. Musa Omokabi graduated in 2004. He was my classmate here. Beyond that, he has done well for the department. Recently, he bought a set of new football jerseys for the department, for the NUCSA football team. Yesterday, he told me that anytime. Okay, thank you. Mr. Mokabi is online too. Let's give him a round of applause. Okay, in his honor, today the NUCSA, students of the department have a Nobel March to honor him, and the match ended 2-2. The match is between science and social sciences. Yesterday, he sent a message to me that anytime he sees anybody coming down to Nigeria, he's going to send a goalkeeper glove. So, the NUCSA Award of Excellence in Campus Development goes to Mr. Musa Omokabi, and it will be presented by Professor Mrs. Hidon Adilekom. Incidentally, Omokabi is our HOD's son. Dr. Shalami will receive the award on his behalf.
Mr. Musa Omokabi is the Senior Administrative and Protocol Officer at the Permanent Delegation of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to UNESCO, Paris, France. He was born to the family of Mr. and Mrs. J.B. Anajara Omokabi of the Mega community in Esako East Local Government of Edo State. He started his educational career at the Abadina Primary School 1, University of Ibadan, and later proceeded to Methodist Grammar School, Bodija, Ibadan, for his post-primary education. He holds a diploma degree in adult education and community development from the Faculty of Education, University of Ibadan, in 1997-1998 academic session. He was admitted to the Department of Geography, Faculty of Social Sciences, for his bachelor's degree in geography in 1999 and graduated in 2003-2004 academic session. He proceeded to obtain MSc degree in geography in 2008. Before gaining admission to the University of Ibadan, while growing up, he watched lots of inter-house sports competition of the University of Ibadan at the old University Sports Complex. Since his passion for the game of football was ignited, Mr. Musa Omokabi was a goalkeeper. He was a member of the University of Ibadan football team at the bilateral games between the University of Ibadan and the University of Ghana, Legon, hosted by the University of Ibadan in 2002. He was a member and gold medalist faculty of the Social Sciences football team at the first inter-faculty football competition, University of Ibadan. He was also a gold medalist, Geography Department, Faculty of the Social Sciences, interdepartmental football competition. He was a member, Kuti Hall football team, 1998-2004. He was a sports secretary, Kuti Hall Caretaker Committee, 2002-2003 academic session. He was a bronze medalist football, 19th Nuga Games 2002, University of Ibadan. He was a member, University of Ibadan football team, 21st Nuga Games 2006, University of Maiduguri. As a lover of football, he became a Liverpool fan in 2005. When Liverpool came back from Europe down to defeat AC Milan at the UEFA Champions League final in Istanbul, Turkey, during his National Youth Service Cup in Abia State. His love for sports, particularly in football, made the ex-University of Ibadan Footballers Association to appoint him as the liaison officer of the Association for Europe. Mr. Omokabi obtained his training certificate as a protocol officer of the Permanent Delegation of Nigeria to UNESCO at the prestigious Bureau Versailles in Paris, France. As a protocol officer, he was a member of the Protocol and Logistic Planning Committee for the 2021 Africa Week, which was successfully hosted at UNESCO headquarters, Paris. Mr. Omokabi is happily married with 3 beautiful children.
On behalf of NUCSA, Nigeria University Students Association, I present this award of excellence in campus sports development to Mr. Musa Omokabi, Senior Administrative Sport Officer and Grand Permanent Education University. In recognition of your excellent performance in encouraging and supporting sport development in the Department of Geography, University of Ibadan. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. The next award is NUCSA Award of Excellence in Human Relations, and that goes to Mrs. Bukola Edi Balogun. This award will be presented by Professor Adeli Babi-Gashi.
Mrs. Bashidat Ibalogun is a graduate of Geography from the Department of Geography of the Premier University, University of Ibadan. She was admitted to the Department of Geography in 2007 and graduated with a second-class honors upper division in 2011. During her undergraduate class, She took on different leadership roles within and outside the department. She was the Assistant General Secretary, National Union of Lagos State Students, 2007-2008, the General Secretary, National Union of Lagos State Students, 2008-2009. The Social Director, Nigerian Universities Geography Student Association, NUCSA, 2009-2010, the Vice President, ASEC in Ibadan, 2010-2011, and Presidential Candidate, NUCSA, in 2010. While in the department, she was involved in setting up academic mentorship support for fresh students. She was also hosting an Alumni Connect with students and managing the various social activities of the association. Mrs. Ejidi Balogun was an outstanding student in our undergraduate class. She was on the Faculty of Science Dean's Roll of Honor in 2008 and 2009. She fell in love and started her journey into human relations as an undergraduate with ASEC. Currently, she has over 10 years experience in HR across multiple fast-moving consumer goods industries, including British American Tobacco, GlaxoSmithKline Consumer PLC, and international breweries. She's currently the HR business partner commercial for Sub-Saharan Africa at Reckitt. A passionate youth advocate, she's the founder of the Be Initiative, a community-based youth-focused NGO. She's also the immediate past Amira of NASFAT Youth Wing headquarters. And impact has given a lot of young persons the opportunity to learn from her as well as be supported by her, not just in words but in actions too. She's happily married with 2 amazing boys and spends her free time volunteering and mentoring young ones. She's passionate about intentional parenting as the pathway to building a better future.
Thank you very much.
It's working.
Thank you very much, the fellow today, chairman of this commission, the guest speaker, happy that they chosen to present this award. But I'd like to seek your permission to recognize the scholars more, the models. I have to go through this because the 3 of us started the journey. The mother, the father, and myself. I'm happy today that the work is secretary. Because eventually I supervised the scholars undergraduate projects. Wow. And, I thought the color will continue where we stopped because I was trying to open a new area of geography. So I asked her, you must write on island geography. And I want us to start on a small scale in Lagos. Because this morning that mother was telling me that they collected the data together. So that's why I said we started the geography. But the next thing that I heard about the color was that he had grown richer. Because I'm so proud of you. And this award is a recognition of your outstanding accomplishments in human relations. But it still owes me something. The PhD you promised me. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. The next award is the NUCSA Award of Excellence in public policy. I guess you know who that is going to. Okay. I'm delighted to inform this August gathering that the NUCSA Award of Excellence in Public Policy goes to our distinguished alumni of today. Dr. Adebisi Araba. That award will be presented by no other person than the chairman of the occasion today. Incidentally, you see how God works. We never know the story Dr. Araba told today in his lecture. And that is why it is always good to be good. So the NUCSA Award of Excellence in Public Policy today will be presented by our amiable Professor Bola Ayeni, who also was my PhD supervisor.
It is my greatest honor to present this award. Now, I just mentioned some stories about me. There's one great thing about me. My students know my stories and feelings more than I do. Dr. Lo will tell you many. Bad leadership is not let out. He will tell you many. So, like somebody said, it's good to be good. Because I never remembered him. No, not at all. I never remembered him. In fact, not the name, not even his position. But it's my good fortune to meet him. And this award, it is the happy. Those of who are not so young, remember, I went up running around and said, I don't know whether you remember that. When Abacha formed his 5 political parties, and they decided to select one person, and that person was him, this person is this one. So, congratulations, Dr. Adebisi Araba. We thank God for your life. Dr. Araba is visiting research fellow, Center for Environmental Policy, Imperial College, London. I said, who the app fix, let him wear it. This is an award for excellence in policy. It's my great pleasure to give in recognition of excellent performance in demonstrating a strong commitment to public policy in the nation's best and long-term interests, and showing geographers who share the policy decisions. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Adebisi Araba. Thank you for making it possible for today's lecture to hold. When we initially fixed the lecture for May 12, Dr. Araba almost gave me hypertension when the lecture was cancelled. But later he called me and he said he will come. He will come and deliver the lecture. He sponsored himself down here, and we cannot thank you enough, but we are very, very grateful for this you have done for us. Thank you very much. Thank you. The last award for today, I deliberately made this one to be the last one for today because Yoruba will say Egunla Lonke Igale. I don't know how to translate that. Okay, the big masquerade or the biggest come out last from what is it? Oh, the grand finale. Okay, thank you, sir. The NUCSA Geographer in Government Award is an award that aims to celebrate geographers who have demonstrated outstanding performance and excellence in policies and governance. And this award goes to no other person than our Dr. Edward Olusegun Ojo. This award ceremony by better Mama, sorry, I don't know. Okay, Mrs. Fumilayo Ojo. Please join Dr. Ojo to and the son also. Oh, okay, the son is also here. Daniel Ojo. Let's take his citation. The citation is long, but we are going to abridge it so that we don't waste more time.
Dr. Olusegun Edward is a native of Erimo Ijesha in Oriade local government area of Osun State, Nigeria. He was born on the 12th of March 1956. He was admitted to study geography at the University of Ibadan and graduated from the department in 1978. Dr. Ojo proceeded to obtain MSc Geography in 1981 and Master of Urban and Regional Planning in 1984, respectively, from the University of Ibadan. He obtained MSc in Urban Development Planning in 1989 from the University of London, United Kingdom, PhD in Geography in 1990 from the University of Ibadan, and postgraduate certificate in Disaster Risk Reduction courses in 2003 and 2006 from the Potchefstroom and Northwest Universities, South Africa. He was a federal government as well as British Council Scholar in years 1981 and 1987-88 respectively. Dr. Ojo retired voluntarily as Director from the National Emergency Management Agency, the Presidency, in June 2010, after working for about 10 years at the management level. Currently, he is into private consulting practice in urban development planning and disaster risk management. He's currently the managing partner of Edward Sampson & Co., Urban Development and Disaster Risk Reduction Consultant, which was registered in 1987. Dr. Olusegun Edward Ojo is happily married with children.
Yes, it gives me great pleasure to be the one to give this prize. One of the things that students, when I was here, they complained about, even though this is good geography, I love to know what everybody was doing, because I learned a lot thereby. Some people are so narrow in their field, that's why they find it difficult to get jobs, because you don't know what is happening. One way of being sure you are going to get this job is to broaden your knowledge. When there is a seminar, don't run away. Make sure you are there. Know what other people are doing. That's what I did for this guy. He just reminded me that I read his PhD. I did all the markings and all those things. Sometimes when I correct, I say, oh. But then the result I got was always so good. And something about him, I think he was the best dressed in his class, always impeccable. Very neat. He looked like a senator that time. So congratulations. You look alike. Anyone that is someone who looks very much like you. So on behalf of NUCSA, I'm happy to present this to you in recognition of your outstanding performance and excellence in politics and governance. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Dr. Ojo. Dr. Ojo, while we are preparing for this program, Dr. Ojo sent us a sum of 50,000 naira to support the program. Let's give it a round of applause again. Thank you. So on behalf of today's awardees, I will call on Dr. Ojo to give a response.
Thank you very much. It's a delight to be in this live lecture theater. I was telling my wife that in this live lecture theater, when we have early morning lecture with Professor Alumni, he was teaching us population geography, that this place is always very cold because of the, what's it called? The AC, centralized AC system. Good times are here. A new era is here. As you is here, a new era. Most of the time, our fathers in geography. When I sat with Professor Michel Mariola, I said, let me prof. Professor, I used to supervise my PhD. I finished 1990 June. I started 1983. That was during the time of the mainframe computers. You punch cards. Professor Abunde of blessed memory later on was teaching us floppy disk. And the internet was not, in vogue then, it was not even available. I sat 1 year in the postgraduate studies library to get it, to get a topic that is unique. That was the time people were studying journey to work, journey to market. So I told Professor Eli, I need to do something much more complex. That journeys are multi-purpose. Then I decided to do what do people spend their 24 hours for? It was a combination of transportation geography as well as land use analysis. And I remember the statistics we used was canonical correlation, which was a double barrel attack, according to him. So then I went to work with Federal Ministry of Works and Housing before I did urban and regional plan. Then Professor Ariada called me. He was the head of the panel. He said, "Hey, young man, you have taken too long on this. You have exampled this money for too long." He said, "You must round up this year." And that gave me the impetus. I will come from Lagos, I will submit the chapters and all the rest of it. And he will use his short black, pencil. He will mark your English, he will mark everything. When Professor Arena goes through it, you can just go and just change those things and just go and type. So thank you very much, sir. I'm going to speak a little bit about Professor Ayeni. He was my teacher, he was my supervisor, but we became friends over the years. I left Federal Ministry of Works and Housing when I was on 2,000 Naira. I want to talk about adventure. I was on 2,000 Naira as a town planning officer 1, which was level 9, I was on level 10. And I decided to venture into the world of practice, urban and regional development practice. And I was given a World Bank job to do urban prioritization study for Osun State as a young person in 1993-94. Then I called my professors. I like to work with people who know much better than I do. Professor Ayeni was the one doing the urban study analysis. Professor, what's the name? Today was doing the urban planning aspect of it. Late Professor, from IFE was doing the, fiscal, the fiscal analysis, the finance and the fiscal analysis, and all the rest of it. And we were able to do quite a lot of things. Till today, to cut this story short, myself and Professor Ayeni, we are still in active consultancy together. He was my teacher, he was my mentor, and he's still a friend today. And we are his company, Full Plan Associates, and Edward Sampson are always coming together. He's a specialist in GIS, I'm a specialist in disaster reduction and urban and regional. We always come together. And in the last 15 years, God has helped us to do quite a lot of policy, research, and consultancy for the federal government. So I just want to thank God for that. So, I just want to talk to them. I'm just saying this for the sake of the youth. Geography is not dead. That's the point I really want to make. And then again, I'm 67. We need to be creative. We need to be adventurous. During the COVID years, I'll sit down with Professor Ayeni. I said, Prof, all the good papers you have written that Professor Marco Miguel wrote, that Continent wrote. Do you know his Continent? Do you know his Continent? Then Professor Villani was Continent. We were working for the UN, we were in Ejibo. The week that was going to die. We were in Ejibo doing town hall meeting with UN, on sustainable development of Osun State. It was that same weekend that he died. Those are wonderful. Professor Kuruko, Professor Okafo, and my colleague and my classmate, Professor Nibanigeshi. We had a lot of very wonderful and beautiful people, in the department. And I'm just praying for the people that are there, continue with that spirit. Wonderful and wonderful people. So I'm very much delighted to be part of that which you are doing here. So, geography is not there. I moved from being a geographer, I was in geography science. I read geography and archaeology. I read, courses in science, botany and all the rest of it. Thereafter I came for urban and regional planning. Thereafter I came for, presently, I'd like to tell you what I'm doing. I'd like to tell you to challenge you. Apart from consulting, what Professor Ariana was talking about National Geographic, on the television I see what is called extreme makeover of people, of properties. Some 3 years ago I decided to venture into properties. Bought derelict properties and renovate and upgrade them and all the rest of it. And I can tell you there are a lot of reward in doing that. So presently, one of the things that keeps me going is, properties, development properties, building properties. Geography is not there. And then again, during the 2 year of COVID, I just find out, sitting down at home, I started developing applications with some of these people who are in, some of the developers. I come with a proposal. We were able to develop two applications, two applications. One is research as resource. I told Professor, I said, all the papers you have written, where are those things? Each time I look at my PhD or my dissertation in my library, I just saw it hanging there. It's not blessing people. Then I said, Prof, how can all those things that we have done over the year? I was at the United Nations World Habitat Day with Professor Marco Muge in 1996 making a presentation, and the whole world stood up for Professor Marco Muge. Where are those brilliant, beautiful things that people have presented over the years? Then I started developing an application. Research as resource. Research can be a resource. It can be a goal. As we update them, they can become something that could bring income. Even to our people, to our lecturers, even to researchers and people like us over the years. Research as resource. If you Google www.arihaglobal.com, you see some of the things that I was doing in the last year. I'm still perfecting it. Then again, I found out this kind of, this kind of forum that we have today. I was going through most of the discussion and not the rest of it. I'm a little bit antisocial. But I find out that in most forums, in churches, in academic forums and all the rest of it, people do a lot of talk that do not really benefit society. Then I started talking about saying, what can we do to structure? Then payments, issue of payments. Payments are made, and when payments are made, some of them you even find arguments, even on some of the forums. My secondary school forums, you find people arguing a lot. Then I said, okay, then people do a lot of talking and not doing. Then I came up with talk and do. There's an application that I've developed, talk and do. So what I'm saying is that geography gives you a very broad foundation, a very solid, rock, structured foundation, deep foundation. Then you can begin to branch from there to many things you want to do, as the Lord gives you, creativity. So I just want to thank you, for this program, for this sitting. On behalf of all the awardees, my brother, I'd like to go time and that of additional. I want to thank God for your life. I want to thank God for your contribution. Dear Dean of the Faculty, Professor Kocha, Mara, Kocha. The Igbo man will say, oh yeah, kwe. Children, I want to tell you, you are children to us. I want to tell you, as you think, you can achieve whatever you think. Oh yeah, kwe. As a man thinks, you can achieve whatever you want to think. Geography is a wonderful program. It has given us a lot of pleasure. It has opened up us to the entire society. So on behalf of all the awardees that are here, those that are not here, I want to thank you and God bless you. Thank you.
While he was speaking, he said something, and when Professor Adola came to present the award, said something about him submitting his dissertation and then a lot of corrections. It's funny how the words go and bind can torment your life. I'm sure a lot of my peers here understand. And then it's a lot when we look at all of these people, what they've established and what they've achieved, and then being in our presence here speaking to us, making us see that all the things that we are going through are not just hardships to sort of pounds on us, but they are trainings and then they are ways of making us better for what is outside the world. Please, all students, I would like us to stand up and appreciate all of these people here. Our lecturers, our alumni, everybody. Thank you very much. Very quickly, I would like to recognize some of our alumni
Thank you very much, Kevin. And at this point, I want to remember our departed teachers and colleagues who are going to be with the Lord. And I will quickly write to read out their names. Professor A.L. Mabuje, Professor Utoibo, Professor Faniro, Professor Filani, Professor Abumire, Professor Akitola, Professor Ayade, and Professor Iyu. May we all rise for a moment of silence. We thank God for the lives of these men and women who have labored in the service of this university. We pray for the families that they have left behind, that may the Lord continue to uphold them. Their descendants, may they be known unto greatness in Jesus' name. May their souls rest in perfect peace. Please be seated. Thank you very much. At this point, I would like to invite Dr. Lamiro, who would like to make a few announcements. Then shortly after, we would make the vote of thanks. So, Dr. Lamiro, please come forward. There was a conversation with two men, a beggar and a Nigerian rich prince. And the beggar told the prince that money cannot buy happiness. And the prince said, yes, you are very true, but poverty cannot buy anything. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dean, we are drawing close to the very end of today's event. I want to thank you all for coming. I'm not the one to give the vote of thanks. I'm going to call a living ancestor to come and do this. Now, I want to say something about this particular gentleman before I call out the name. When I was in 300 level, I took a course called Biogeography Geo 313. And the lecturer came in and told us, I think towards the end of the lecture, he said, there will be a test at next week, this time next week. Make sure all of you come and tell those who are abroad to come home for this test. And we all said yes, sir. So we all prepared. The day of the test came, and the lecturer came in and taught us to the very last minute. And he was about to walk out. And we said, sir, what about the test? He said, well, I just wanted to do the number of students that were taking this course. And that person is no other than Professor Adeli Ibadigation. It's my great pleasure to invite Professor Adeli Ibadigation, former head of the department, former dean of the Faculty of the Social Sciences, and former vice chancellor.
When I was a student, under Professor Arola, for your information, Professor Arola supervised my BSc, MSc, and of course my PhD dissertation. So, recognizing him as the grandfather of today's occasion, we made the right choice. And so when I met Kola this morning, and I told her, this is your grandfather. Because he gave back to me academically, and I bore you. Thank you very much, Today, Faculty of these Tissue Sciences, Professor Wolf, I want to thank you for your patience throughout. I was wondering when, just when sitting down calmly, I checked my time, it's 10 o'clock, and I said, so no management meeting today. You must have shared everything with us. We really thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. J, sir. I would like to thank Professor Ayola because I was surprised when I saw him this morning. When Dr. Olaniran called me almost 3-4 months ago, he asked me to call Dr. Ayola, which I did. And I asked Dr. Who do you want to chair this occasion? And he said, yes. Is Professor Ayola still alive? I said, very, very much alive. Then I called Professor Ayola. Professor Ayola said, no. I should look for younger people to chair the occasion. Remember, so I have to call my colleague, also supervised by Professor Ayola. That's Dr. Lee Odolani, who I think was, you were together, Dr. Adeshino, the Minister of Agriculture. Odolani now said, yes, I'll be around. So I conveyed the message to the Professor Ayola. Professor Ayola said, okay, Odolani can share the impression while I will be around just to listen to Dr. Ayola. I said, that's fine. Then, so many things happened. Visa issue here and there, so we have to postpone. But by that time, Dr. Odolani has taken permission from Abidjan to lead a delegation to Abakaliki to study Abakaliki rice. I'm telling you. So, but unfortunately, this meeting will not hold. So we have to shelve it. And that was the end of everything. So this morning, as I was just trying to go to the HOD's office, I met with her. I said, wow. So you are able to make it. That's fantastic. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. And the chairman of the occasion, Professor Bola Ayemi. I don't know whether she would, so Daniel and Lisa are here. But I cannot, you know your daddy was my best man. So I will just call him Shegu. So have you forgotten the day Professor Ayemi was teaching us? It's 481, something like that, mathematics for geographers. In his office, 5 of us, don't forget. MSc, yes, sir. No, it was not 7, it was 4 then. Yes, it was 481. So he started teaching us something about sets, how to multiply or subtract sets, At a stage we are just looking at him like this. Thank God for Professor Ayemi's life. Then he said, okay, the class, let's go. Then where? Because he discovered that we are not listening. So let's go. And I said, where? We just bundled the 5 of us into his car and straight to the staff hall. So can you still remember? So we got to the staff hall. Those we met at the staff hall, I also mentioned that we met Professor Ayola here. So he gave us, you take this, what do you think? Go down. So you can still remember that. Good. With your meal, yes, exactly. So I thought that was the end, that would be the end of the lecture, so that we can go home from the staff hall. He bundled us back to the staff. And he said, The lecture has just started. The what? And we were there till 9 p.m. in his room. He was teaching us. And you can't believe it. I cannot forget that topic up to today. I can subtract, I can multiply. Sometimes students can do more than that, but don't try it. Oh, thank you very much for the lecture. And really thank you. For being a geographer to be called, not today. You can see it. This is Dr. here. This is me here. And we are always proud of you. Thank you for honoring our invitation. My HOD will always be my HOD. The first head of department, female head of department in Ghana. We cannot forget that. You know, when as August is approaching, I keep on wondering what will happen to that office. July. Huh? Okay. Is it July? It's not gonna. Do you want to announce that? Our HOD inaugural lecture will be coming up in July. You are all cordially invited, please. You are all cordially invited. The venue is the Trenchard Hall, University of Ibadan, Nigeria. I hope that is clear to you. The date will communicate to you. Thank you very much. So thank you for leading us since about 2 years ago. We've seen so many things, changes in the department. One of them is what we are witnessing today. Sometimes you look at, when it comes to female, male, something. Sometimes I believe that females can do better. Sometimes. Don't be good. So thank you for your leadership. And then the distinguished lecturer, Dr. we thank you for making it, we thank God for making it possible for you to be here. We know what you went through to be here today. So when I heard that you were around yesterday and I read so early yesterday, I said, oh, but luckily right. As a distinguished alumni of this department, they told me said we would like to meet all our OGs. I can imagine what the challenges he was through. And behind you, I have formed a small group of which I am not a member. Because the HOD always required me to be as the Baba of the department. I said, how can I be Baba? Where was our life still alive? But I discovered that there's no way. I just have to answer a call. We are trying to form a group, a think tank group, to move this department forward. And Dr. Larry told me that he has informed you. We are trying to bring Dr. Larry, I don't know whether you know this. Yeah. We are bringing him to it. Even though Dr. Larry graduated from Ife, but I think he is more of Ibadan than Ife. So it's ready to share that team. Just about kind of the think tank to move geography, especially this department. Development programs, even if we start at the master's level, that will attract people to geography. Because, as you rightly said, geography is still alive. Geography is not dead. And Dr. Joe also emphasized that geography cannot die. So, we have high hopes on you, and we know you are going higher and higher. Thank you for making today a glorious work. Thank you very much. And now, to my colleagues in the department, we agree with me, we have a lot to do. We are in charge of these young budding geographers. I respect each one of them because I always interact with them when I teach them. and I can see the potential. Look at the lady who anchored this program with Dr. Ranion. At the stage I was thinking, she's a broadcaster. And that is, you are.
Yes, I am.
You are. And that's the beauty of geography. Geography is what geographers do. Geography is what geographers do. And to our great students, Dr. Alumni has saluted your college. Greatest Luxa! Greatest of the greatest of the greatest Luxa! I see that my project student. And the greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest. Thank you very much for this initiative. Where's Taiwo? Where's the president? Thank you very much. For this initiative, and I hope we pass on the baton to the next expo and we keep on having this distinguished lecture every year. Thank you very much. Above all, we have to thank Almighty God for a successful outing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Before we all disperse, I would like to kindly appeal to members of the high table to please step down for a group photograph with our awardees, and the members of academic and non-academic staff to please join the photograph. Thank you very much. I wish everyone a very pleasant day. And before that, I would like to make some announcements.
Speaking of passing the mantle to the next administration, we are honored to have some past executive members among us. Dr. Bishara, the guest speaker, who was a one-time NIPSA president. What I also received an award, a one-time NIPSA associate director. And then also Dr. Inamo to a one-time NIPSA general secretary. All of that building me to say that today is NIPSA's election. Then I will appeal that all students, as we leave this hall, we should move to our leather lounge to cast our votes and select a few people who will be our next executive council administrators. And then the people that will lead the initiative of having such a program like this come up next year and years after. Thank you very much, all students. As we leave, let us forget. Thank you.